So welcome back to the part 4. So basically, you've seen me do this in the previous videos, right? So we had trimmed the foam. We took the lower half now, the seat part of the assembly. We laid it over the foam. I have the fiber fill in here to try to take out some of the wrinkles. And again, this will stretch out when it's warm. It's a little cool in the shop, so plastic doesn't like to stretch in the cool. The controls are through, right? And again, they're painted the interior color. I have a couple cans of paint because, of course, I have to paint the interior color anyways in the car, right? Because the dashboard and the top of the door skins, they're all going to be painted anyway, so they have the matching blue. So everything's been painted. Everything is working the way I like it now. So I have lumbar support. So it's a motorized lumbar, which pushes out here and lifts the seat. Obviously, I have a power rear, so now the back of the seat moves back and forth. And again, that's let people in the back seat. That's one. But mostly, it's for comfort while driving, right? So we can really adjust the seat. Of course, we have the standard back and forth, but we also have up, we also have down, we also have tilt. We can tilt forward, tilt back. Again, it's all about comfort and safety. Having a headrest in this vehicle was important to me. My concern, of course, is when you get rear-ended in these old 68s, they weren't really designed to keep the human safe. So what they did is without a headrest, you get whiplash. I'm also looking at putting a 3-point harness, so I am looking at putting a shoulder strap in this vehicle as well. But those are the things that I was worried about mostly with safety. So now that we've got the seat in, remember those bars we welded in here? I think it was on part 2. We've now wrapped the fabric around, and that is now glued, so that's going to hold a nice clean edge down here. So we have a nice clean edge. Of course, we see the track, but if you remember with the Mustang, these seats drop really low, and it has the inner supports as well on a convertible, so you don't even see that. I mean, you can't barely see below that anyways because of the inner rockers. So seats in. It's been all pulled through. It's been hog ringed at the bottom, so now this has been pulled down. So really I'm just left with this gaping hole in the back. Now, of course, the good news is they all came with this piece. Of course, this was designed originally for the original seat that you would put the clips in here. There would be holes in the back of the seat that you would put this up and then give it a shot, and of course that would lock it in place. Well, certainly none of that architecture is there. None of that structure is there. So I came up with this idea on the other seat, and it worked really well. I just used zip ties, used the original hole, had to create an additional hole underneath it, but really the zip tie just goes through. And what this is going to do then is it's going to come, there's a bar in here, right? Remember that bar that this is now wrapped to? So that bar is right here. All I have to do is make a small perforation here. This will then feed through, come back through, lock. I'll zip it, which will then lock the top in. And then I've got the zip ties on the bottom, and I'll just grab down in here and again zip, and that'll hold this panel in place, and it'll cover the whole thing up, and you will have a finished back on this seat. And like I said, a representation of a 1968 seat, so it looks right for the vehicle, but basically with a modern 2010 Lincoln MKX front seat with all the power adjustments, the lumbar support, the safety issues in place, and like I said, really was what I was after. And again, this is not a show car, as I mentioned earlier. This is a driver. This car is going to get thousands and thousands and thousands of miles on it, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. So anyway, I'll let you go, and thanks for joining me on this 4-part series. I'm going to be back to bodywork, and we'll probably start that in the new year. So everyone, Happy New Year. I think today's Wednesday, so it's 2 days before New Year's. And I wish everyone a safe and happy holiday. I'll talk to you soon.